Now, I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence here, especially OSR gamers who probably have been around the block a few times. But if you take something like Fantasy OSR and you have a player who's saying, well, you know, I don't really care for it because it just seems too much like it's a straight shot. I'd like to have more control with my character, more interaction. Or if you're a person who likes to run game himself, you're wondering, well, how is this going to apply to me? I don't just want to generate a whole lot of dice rolls. You can actually use it as travel encounters before you get to your adventure, but you could also use the fundamentals of Fantasy OSR to build an adventure or an adventure climax. Now, I grabbed this little underworld off of the internet, Davemapper.com. I've used them a number of times because I find their site is just incredibly useful as a time saver. And if I were to put the party in this upper corner here, I could make myself an adventure using the mechanics of Fantasy OSR with this graphic and with just some title cards. So I'm going to put the climax over here. It's in sort of a double room. You have to get through it through the rubble, which is hard to find. There's a door there that I could trap. And then there's a secondary route in here, which may look like it's down and in. And the clue would be that dashed line there. But I'm going to put the climax right here. And then I would decide what I want to do. Now, I could certainly just take a whole bunch of monsters and put 100 of them everywhere, so that every time the players move around, they're facing another monster. But I don't think that's in the spirit of the game, and I don't think that's good for OSR. What you want is a more intrigue-oriented game. So we do have some secret doors that are marked in classic style, and we do have some normal doors. It looks like we have at least that one stairwell. But let me look at my images here and see what I have to pull and rely upon as I make an underworld, or a dungeon as you guys call it. And so let's start with maybe an ancient magazine. So let me put an ancient magazine somewhere. Oh, here's a perfect place. You got this little room section right here that's got a secret door behind it. So I'm going to put an ancient magazine right there. I can actually put it here. Now, if there's some confusion on my part, I can always put a letter in there and put the letter out to the side. I think I can figure this out as a referee. If I wanted to use this with a Fog of War, if I'm playing virtually, I can always move these icons around, but I want a general idea where it is. So I got the ancient magazine here, and this right here, wow, that looks a lot like crawl space tunnels. So let me grab some crawl space tunnels here, and looks like I got one. Okay, so we're gonna put some crawl space tunnels here. And what else do I have here? Well, let me just look at my options really quick. Now I could put ambushes in the underworld. A good ambush place would be right in here. And I can also put a skirmish in the underworld. Let's see if I can grab a skirmish here, where I know they're going to have to come in and fight. That'd be a good place to put the icon of the goblins, so it has more of a visual representation. And I may have I got the climax in that far corner, but I might have some sort of discovery that they could make, and in this room here. And besides the discovery, right close to it, I could put some undead. So you get the advantage of the discovery, but you also then, if you head further down into this cave section, you have undead. And do I have anything else? I can take a broad one like a delve. Now, a delve would normally be 6 different things that could happen. And so 6 different things that could happen. If you enter this area, you roll a d6 to see what actually occurs. And it could be the fact that the monsters could grow more dangerous. It could be the fact that you're going to lose gear or loot. On that note, gear and loot, well, at times you want to be able to give the players gear. So maybe that gear is right here. That's a little bit too convenient. They'd probably come back to it. Oh, here's a room that looks like it actually has gear and barrels in it. Let me say that if they break into this area, they get gear. And, to make it fair, you always want to give them a chance that they can get their luck back. So where can you get your luck back? Well, would it be with the monster? Probably not. But maybe if you get past this secret door, the gods would give you some sort of gain of luck. Now, I already have the basics of a pretty good underworld right here. It's got 2 different types of monsters in it. It's got an ambush point. It's got a skirmish point. And I could go nuts. And every single box on this map, I could be adding something to it. I could put gemstones down here in this room. And I could put looking down. I could put a whole sigils and signs that appear down in this room. And I could put general broad categories, as I said. Maybe I have a clash and surrender, that if you kill the monsters in this room right here, and I probably want something, like a mythical beast. By killing the mythical beast here, it would give you enough clues to know where that climax is. So you can piece this together and actually make an adventure, and then run your players in it. Now for this right here, I probably also looked at it, and I've been accused of being very Monty Hall, because I want to see the magical items in play. I want to see the actual game mechanics being stressed when I play. That's probably just the developer in me. So I would probably go back and I would add some magic, some treasure chests in this thing. Maybe multiple treasure chests. People love treasure chests. You want to entertain your players. Give them lots of treasure. They'll come back and they'll go, hey, we want you to referee again. I think that's how I got my first refereeing gig. Is that Madman Morgan? If you could get a few coppers out of him, you were probably doing lucky. But it wasn't. It was really stupid hard to get anything from him. And I just stepped in and said, I want to see what a +1 spear does. I want to see what these potions do. I'm going to put them in there and find out if it actually changes the game mechanics any. So I would add more treasure to the. But then you would also add more curses. When you cross this area, you get the curse of pestilence. You cross this area here, you get a ricochet curse. That's actually a good one. You can restore your spells. Let's put that ricochet curse down in that little offshoot room right here. And one more, probably global dispel magic. People would hate that. They come walk in the underworld, and if they should go past this one statue right here in this corner, it would be global dispel magic. Now, from an OSR perspective, a lot of the players would want to, have this hallway with curvature described, and they would, be using their, they would be probing the distances ahead to see if traps. Well, let's give them a reason to do that. Do I have a pitfall here? That'd be P for pitfall. Of course I have a pitfall here. So let's give them a reason to go through that area and hit a pitfall if they don't test forward. As soon as they hit that pitfall and realize they broke a potion, took some damage, then they're going to be using that 10-foot pole every step of the way along here. And you notice the way this is drawn too, you can elaborate on it. These cross tunnels connect the different areas, but they don't connect globally to all the different areas. Now I haven't looked and seen how this would actually play out. Because again, I'm making a 7-minute underworld here. In a 7-minute climax challenge, I would want some of the things to surprise me as a referee as well. So hopefully you got an idea here of how you can set this up and get it ready for your players. And let's see if we can draw a little thing here. This would be all they would see on their perspective, but from your referee perspective, you would know you've got all this other stuff going on here. More later.